Brain osmosis. This is not a flower. Nor are these artichokes growing from the branch of an oak tree. And what you see here is not a bunch of lemons. In fact, these are not even fruits. The wool sowers can be found on the branches of the white oaks that populate much of the East Coast forests of North America. They can reach the size of a ping pong ball and at first glance look like attractive white flowers with pink dots, but they are actually an aggregate of tumor-like structures known as galls. These galls are created by the oak in response to the attack of a parasite that laid its eggs in the tree's branches the previous winter. With the arrival of spring, the eggs hatched and from their interior emerged plump larvae, which promptly began to secrete a cocktail of chemical substances, forcing the oak to defend itself and generate the abnormal plant tissue that gives the wool sowers their distinctive floral appearance. In this way, with the use of their chemical weapons, the larvae ensured that the tree provided them not only with the protection of a home, but also with a unique nutrition source, as the secretions produced by the galls are the only food that they will eat in their entire life. The larvae grow inside the galls in compartments similar to seeds. And after a few months, after being transformed into adult parasites, once the galls have dried out and are no longer white and pink, they leave their lairs to mate and look for new oak trees in which to lay their eggs, starting the whole cycle all over again. In the case of the wool sowers, the parasite that forces the white oak to produce them is the Caleritus seminator, a member of the gall wasp family, named so after the galls they induce on plants for larval development. About 1,300 species of this insect are known worldwide. They measure between 1 and 8 millimeters and are usually drab in color, which makes them rather inconspicuous. But gall wasps are not the only parasites capable of forcing tumors to form on the plants hosting them. Gall flies, aphids, weevils, scale insects, moths. Members of each of these species have specialized in infecting plants and taking advantage of the resulting galls. Galls that look like leaves, flowers, fruits, artichokes, fantasy mushrooms, as well as others with the most exotic colors and alien shapes that you could imagine. Today their existence goes largely unnoticed amidst the hustle and bustle of our modern world. But this was not the case in the past, because galls played then a more visible role in the life and commerce of our ancestors. The fact that they were ignorant of the origins and natures of the mysterious objects growing on the plants around them didn't stop our ancestors from finding the most imaginative and surprising uses for them. The Romans, for example, used them as remedy against burns, toothache and mouth ulcers. As a matter of fact, archaeologists found in the ruins of the Pompeii market up to 2,800 charred galls that they believe were being sold to customers for medicinal purposes when Vesuvius erupted. Galls have a high concentration of tannins, organic substances with chemical and antibacterial properties that the plants manufacture as part of their defense strategy against the larvae growing in their leaves and branches. This tannin-rich trait is the reason for which galls were widely used throughout history to tan hides into leather. Tanners would add ground galls during the tanning process to release the tannins and alter the proteins of the hides, making them more durable and less susceptible to decomposition. But perhaps their most important use was in the preparation of iron gall ink, the standard ink for writing in Europe between the 5th and early 20th centuries. For the manufacture of this ink, iron sulfate and gum arabic were added to ground oak apples, a type of gall rich in tannic and gallic acids. Once mixed, the result yielded a very water-resistant and permanent ink. After learning about the role that galls with names like gall nuts and oak apples have played in human history, and after familiarizing yourself with the existence and nature of other gall varieties that at first glance resemble vegetables and fruits, you're probably wondering right now, can I eat them? We wouldn't recommend trying them without doing some prior research about them. They are not poisonous, but the high tannin content of some of them, as well as the internal structures of others, make them very unpleasant to taste. That being said, there are other galls, such as the Greek sage apples, which are fragrant, juicy and tasty, the same when eaten with or without their larvae. Or like the bush coconut, a gall that is part of the traditional diet of the Aboriginal Australians, and whose soft interior tastes like the tropical fruit from which it takes its name. As well as can be expected of any gall, the coconut bush houses an occupant inside of it, a scale insect in this case. And whilst it is true that this occupant does not taste like coconut, it does have a sweet and juicy flavor that is reported to be quite delicious. Would you dare to try it? Before you leave, please don't forget to share, give it a like, and to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.